All right, Shalom. I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Kakadash, double honors to the apostles of GMS, and sincere Shalom to the brothers out there pushing this truth and sincerity, Salakia. And what I have here is says all hell is going to break loose. Leo Terrell, basically a guy that's speaking on it, but he brings up someone that's very important that we also go into. But I'm gonna like to clip play, but just to go into it a little bit, that nobody, day by day, there's news upon news about things getting worse. Not actually, now that I think about it, any news that I've been hearing of lately hasn't been any good. It's always been the bad news. How stores are on fire, people killing each other left and right. I haven't heard any really good news from any of these channels, like any of these news places, or even from RT News. I don't really hear anything good when it comes to the highlights. All their highlights come from everything bad. And of course, that's how they make money, because the drama is everything. But from the past couple of years, it hasn't been anything good. They try to put some hope, some good things that they don't highlight, to give somebody some form of hope. But that hope, dreams, all that stuff is long gone. That's out of even the equation. So I'm gonna let the clip play, and I'm gonna stop at the part that we brings up.
New details on recent smash and grab robberies in California and Minnesota. Some of them were organized on Snapchat and other social media platforms and carried out by people who didn't know each other. Police say the flash mobs are formed after someone posts a target and a time. Leo Terrell joins us now. He's a civil rights attorney and Fox News contributor. Leo, it's always great to see you. I mean, we're just kind of coming out of the tornado thing, and you saw the images there are horrifying. The images of these smash and grabs, I mean, you know, they're also something that is imprinted upon America because we have seen them so many times. And now we're learning kind of the MO on these things, Leo, is that you have these bosses, so to speak, and they're on a safe distance, and then on social media, they're organizing these foot soldiers, for lack of a better word, to go in and pointing them which stores to go to, right? You point them which stores to go to, what items to grab, and then they take those and they sell those things online. What's the fix here, Leo?
I'll tell you, the fix here, Trace, is very simple. The police is trying to apprehend these individuals, and they're doing the best job possible. But the police department is being set up, Trace. They can arrest everyone. They can arrest every single person that's involved in these crimes. But guess what? They get released. Trace, you live in California just like I do. And the police department, the chief of police in LA said that we arrested 14 people and they were released the next day. When you have left-leaning prosecutors who's not going to convict, what's the purpose of arrest? And here's the key point, Trace. I think the police department is being set up. All it takes, Trace, is one disputed shooting, one disputed arrest, and excuse my language, all hell's going to break loose. And all this is going to be excused. And those liberal prosecutors are to go after the police. Police department, they know what's going on. And these individuals are being released because of left-leaning George Soros Democratic prosecutors.
And the key word that he mentioned that was somewhat important was George Soros. Also, the funder of Black Lives Matter. The funder of the LGBT. And lastly, the funder of the trans people. Actually, and the funder of every movement that's been made. So, he's been funding all these organizations, and of course, no surprise, he have his hand in the police department. He even said it, like I'm pretty sure he said it in the clip, but it's not, it's further on. But they police are capturing these people and then releasing them in the next day. And who knows? They were like, hey, we want these people back on the streets so you can catch them again. Make them go ahead and let them rob some more stores. That's the whole point of these rats, is that they want more chaos. More chaos makes them more money. More chaos, it fills their agenda. More chaos leads to more destruction, whether that be to a property or to another life. It doesn't matter to them, because even a life to them makes them money, and that's whether they're alive or dead. Look at Michael Jackson, or anybody that actually dies. None of these celebrities keep that money. It goes right back to these monkey suit guys. So, and so no matter what anybody thinks, including even this guy Leo Terrell, no one can do anything. It's just a game, especially in this place. I'm sorry, especially this place. This place in itself is a game. Go catch the mouse and let it free, and then make it do it again until everything seems like it's just not just in one state, but let it happen in other states. So everybody's doing the same thing. It's like a whole trend if you think about it. Kind of crazy, but it's just like George Soros has his hand in everything. He's a rat just like the rest of them. The whole game is the whole game itself is a game. Actually, I may not even need to play the rest of that clip, but I'm gonna probably play a little bit more of it.
And you make a very good point there, Leo, because, you know, you have a lot of these liberal politicians and prosecutors in California. They know this is a losing issue. And now you have Mayor London Breed in San Francisco coming out saying, oh, there's going to be consequences. Governor Gavin Newsom coming out saying, we're going to make sure these people know there are consequences. And you have the Attorney General of California, right, Rob Bonta, saying the following, quoting here, when folks know that there are consequences, there will be accountability, and that's how we prevent it. And yet, as you point out, Leo, the police chief in Los Angeles, Michael Moore, just came out and said, look, 14 people were arrested in a smash and grab robbery that had a $340,000 worth of merchandise, and all 14 were quickly released. So there are no consequences. There's big talk, but no consequences.
There are none, Trace, and that's the game. The Democrats talk a good game, but they are soft on crime. Look, those police officers who's out in the street, who's got to go out there and arrest those individuals. They don't want another George Floyd situation. They don't want Al Sharpton coming to L.A. or and change the narrative. I guarantee you, you're one disputed assault arrest away from chaos. But the Democrats, they have not put the prosecutors in position to arrest, convict, and imprison. What's the purpose of arresting if the prosecutors are not going to convict? You cannot believe Gavin Newsom. You cannot believe George Gascon. You cannot believe Lori Lightfoot. She wants to blame the retailers. The bottom line is the police are helpless, Trace.
Yeah.
And there it is. And that's the key game. Everything and anything in this place is just a pawn. That's all it is. It's a pond. A whole pond of uselessness. It's just you're easily discardable. This is Psalm 55:21. It says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. So you get all these other people to come up and give pretty speeches, even though some of the people don't buy it. And guess what? The same shit gonna happen. It says his words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. So while he's giving the pretty speech, or anybody of them giving the pretty speech, they also sneaking up on people, stabbing them in the back, or be realistic, they setting up scenarios for when they actually get to the destination where they need to get, or any given day that they need to execute a plan. And them drawing swords is just dropping buildings on their heads. This is Micah 2:1. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in their in the power of their hand. And so that's what Esau does. It's like by the time, and it's funny because when you go by the morning of it in this land, which makes no sense, but it does in wickedness. The time of mourning and during is actually when midnight hits for the society, and overnight they're making plans left and right. Set up this scenario here. Set up this scenario here. All for each different dates. No wonder there's a different thing going on every day. There's nothing but chaos out here for the past, well, for a long time actually. At least the rats already had plans from the get go when this place probably before this place was conquered. So there's all sorts of evil works going on that people don't realize, and if they do realize, they don't care, or they can't care because hey, they can't do anything about it. They're not going to cross over to our side and try to condemn them. They're not even about that. It's only the whole. I mean, you got some niggas that will try to do that, but they don't last long because they're not doing it out of sincerity. Just like the BLM, they're doing it just like just to, well, for number one, for a fan base, and number two, to gain love and acceptance from their oppressors. That's all it is. This is Matthew 24:6. It says, "And ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." So you hear wars and rumors of wars. You're not just talking about World War III. You got the Civil War. The war with the civilians. So let's go back to Psalms 55:21. It says, "The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords." So that's also the war right there. The war of the people, war and attack of the people, primarily the Israelites. Because that's what this is mainly the clash between. You ain't so much worried about the average people, because they're gonna come up with any dumb way to make it seem like they're important, and they can't do anything. Because if they because I see them comment boards all the time, they be trying to make it seem like, oh, we outnumber them, all this and that. But none of these people have guns like that. None of these people have guns just like the military does. You can try to outnumber them, but you're still going to be overpowered. No one's making moves. No one that's saying that, oh, we outnumber them is making moves on these people. Which goes to show you that deep down in their spirit, they know they can't battle against this evil. It's primarily because especially if they're evil too. This is the battle between the carnal and the spiritual. The two-thirds of people they don't even care about, or any of the goyim, that the ones they call goyim, they don't care about them. This is just an attack on them because hey, he has an agenda to wipe out some of them. But this is all a game. This is the game he's playing. This is the game. The game he's playing is fun to him, but it's spiteful to other people. But it's about to get worse. It's about to get a whole lot worse out here. People talking about 2020 wasn't a good year. Could you say the same for 2021? Because if I remember, that 2021 was even worse. Let's see what 2022 has in store. Will they be celebrating the New Year's? Because if I remember correctly, 2021 New Year's, no one celebrated that. Everybody was quiet. Everybody was quiet. So let's see how quiet they will be about this year. I mean, the year coming up. But that's pretty much all I have going into that. So, little one, just a little edifying. And with that, shalom.